Hey everyone, it's Turdon DeBow here, founder of the Creative Entrepreneur Academy and your host for Ideas That Shape the World. This podcast is for people that are world changers, that are taking their ideas and they are shaping the world one step at a time. And so I'm down here in Atlanta, Georgia. It's my first time down here, but I had to grab some world changers to be on episode 2. So I'll let them introduce themselves, but I picked each of them because they are doing some tremendous things to help move the world forward. And you know, that's what I'm all about. I love the creatives, the people that can take and find solutions and keep the world moving forward. So go ahead and introduce yourselves.
What's going on, guys? Kenney Conwell, aka Mr. Money Savvy, and I help people with their money. My goal before I die is to eliminate the wealth gap in the African American community by 10%. So I currently own one of the fastest growing financial education companies online, Mama EDU, and also own an investment firm as well.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Marquel Russell, and basically I help entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs build businesses that make the world a better place and create true time and financial freedom.
All right, my name is David Shands. I am a small business coach. I teach entrepreneurs how to take an idea and turn it into income, both adults and our youth.
Now, I do want to get your journeys, how you were able to go from not being an entrepreneur, possibly working for someone else, to, you know, having your own company, your own businesses, and being able to help other people change their lives with your services.
Honestly, I've been an entrepreneur my entire life. You know, so like whole time, I've had probably like 3 jobs, all for months. Every job I had, I got fired from. But when I was younger, I used to cut grass and wash cars. You know, I used to go knock on people's doors, and I'd say, "Hey, your lawn needs to be cut. You know, let me cut your lawn." You know, and then they would be like, they would say whatever they would say, and then I would overcome their objections. Then I'd be cutting their lawn. Right.
Okay, so you just knew already?
I mean, I had to get the money. So I went and I say, they got a problem, I got a solution, you know, and then that's kind of like how I started. So I've always been an entrepreneur, you know, it's just who I am. I don't know any other way, you know.
Okay.
So.
Now, did you just jump into it, or was it pretty, like, relatively easy for you to just know what to do, or?
I just figured it out.
Okay.
You know, I love Google. And, you know, I just will Google a lot of stuff and we'll go find mentors. We'll find people that was where I wanted to be. And then I would always invest. You know, I would invest in whatever course, whatever the case is, and I still invest.
Okay.
You know, so. Awesome.
Okay, what about for you, Marquel?
Yeah, so for the same thing for me, so I grew up entrepreneur all my life. So I pretty much started off cutting grass in the neighborhood. I used to be in apartments, knocking on doors like, "Hey, you need your trash took out," selling candy at the store. Then as I got older and saw what my cousins were doing, got into selling drugs. And now we're selling nickel bags of weed, and then we get into drug trafficking. It's just crazy. But I look back and it's always entrepreneurship. And then I got into club promotions, and I was doing artist management. Just one thing led me to another. And then I'm hanging in the club one night, and a guy walks up and pitches me on this opportunity where everybody who you know who buys a cell phone, you can get paid off them paying their bill. So I'm like, that sounds pretty dope. So he invited me to this event, and it was like, you know, all you got to do is get 2, and then they'll get 2, and then they'll get 2. You know, you're making, you know, millions of dollars, driving cars the company paid for, sipping pina coladas on the beaches of the world. I'm like, I'm in. I'm like, this legit? And it was like, yeah. I'm like, I'm in. It didn't matter if it was really legit, right? Because with the world I came from, like, everything goes. So I jumped in head first, and then fell flat on my face. It wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be, because it was a lot of personal work I had to do myself. But then I started figuring out, you know, I started signing up a couple people after going to an event, started to plateau, and then I got introduced to this world of internet marketing. So now I can go from being the hunted, chasing people, to actually attracting people to me. And I got really good at that. People started paying me a lot of money to teach them how to do it. So we started our whole company around helping business. And I found that was a huge problem. We got people start businesses every single day, like 534,000 get started every single month. But they don't know how to get leads, they don't know how to get clients, and they definitely don't know how to automate the whole process. So they're hustling, relying on word of mouth. So that's what we built our whole business around, servicing those particular business owners.
Okay.
Right, and I feel like I left a lot of my story out listening to his story. Look, I ain't gonna steal the spotlight for you, Chad.
We'll come back to your story so you can elaborate a little.
It's a dope story, man.
Now, I too was a landscaper. You know what I mean? A young landscaper. Yo, like really.
I started a landscape.
Oh, for sure. It was just a way you could make money off the same product, same customer over and over again, because the grass keeps growing. For sure. And then you rake the leaves, and for some reason, leaves keep falling, right? So I looked at that model and I was like, you know what, I think I can do that. But I think like there's a theme of, we all kind of just had it and we had that ambition in the beginning. I was at a school today and we were talking about, photography, kids want to get into photography. And we just kind of went through a bunch of questions of, let's say a camera is $500, how do we get the 500, right? So Kenney would probably say, let's cut some lawns. High school, like, let's rake some leaves, let's wash some cars, right? But one kid said, let's sell some stuff. And, some people was like, I don't really got a whole lot to sell. And I asked him, if you have 5 pair of sneakers, would you be willing to sell 4 of them and just wear 1 for the rest of the year? Like the same shoes. Some of the kids was like, nah.
Right.
I'd much rather be fresh.
Right.
I'd much rather, really. I'm giving I'm thinking I'm giving the whole game. Like, this is why you need to do it. Like, you can sell the 4, get the camera, and you can just buy more shoes based off the gigs from the camera. But they like,
You're thinking the light bulb was about to go off.
nope, I'd rather be fresh. But adults do that too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a
Adults do that
mindset.
too.
100%.
It's definitely a mindset.
So, I worked at the Cheesecake Factory, and I just always had a job and a dream. I've never had just a job. I always had a job in some network marketing company or something on the side. Always. Okay. So, that
Dream, I think that's dope.
Oh, for sure. We just kept that process going.
So then how did you know that it was time to leave your job?
It was always time to leave. It was never time to start, right? I needed some money to start a business, but I always had something on the side.
Okay.
And I left when I could sustain myself financially.
Okay.
I set a goal. I didn't quit because God told me. You know how people are like, God told me to quit. It wasn't that.
Right.
I said as soon as I can make money on the side, I can make this amount of money every week consistently for 3 months, I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
I hit that number. I didn't quit a moment sooner, but I was like, if I could set a goal and hit that goal while I had a job, imagine what I could do with a job, without a job. So, my goal dictated when I left. I set the goal and I hit it.
Okay. Yeah, that is good. I got fired on my day off, so God didn't tell me anything. I just never looked back after that.
Nice.
So I guess he knew that that's exactly what I needed. So what else did you leave out of your story, Kenney?
Well, similar to what he was saying, like when I got started in when college. That's when I got started in the financial services industry, and then I got started with a very similar company what these gentlemen talked about, more of a network marketing, bring two, and all this. And the only people I knew were college students, so I had to get into learning like sales skills, online marketing, and that's when I kind of like started learning how to do that stuff. And then just took the skill set of financial services and coupled it with marketing, and then been able to, serve a lot of people. Right. So at this point, we've helped thousands of people improve their credit, their finances, budgets, investment accounts, the whole thing. But it came from the fact of before I even got to that point, there was lots of failures, lots of lessons that helped propel me to where I am now. So I just never stopped. I never quit. I just kept going.
So what would you say? So let's get into some of those lessons from the journey. So what would you say your biggest lesson that you learned on the journey of entrepreneurship is?
I don't know if I have a biggest lesson, but I would say that it's kind of like it's a journey. So you don't get caught up on the destination, just focus on the journey, and don't get caught up on the money, focus on serving first. So if you can serve, you can add value, then you can help out, which by definition means you gotta invest in you, right? You gotta focus on building you. And just a real specific thing for entrepreneurs who are currently have a business, you gotta focus, man. Yeah. You gotta focus in on everything you got going on. So if you got a business, a lot of people say, well, I want to have multiple streams of income, and I'm not negating that. But what most successful people will tell you is you get one stream, and that one stream is going to help you create 7, 8, 9 streams. Right. You know what I mean? So that's huge. Focus, and don't get caught up on that big deal, because when you're doing the things that's bringing in the cash flow on a daily basis, even if it's $200, $300 a day, whatever it is, that's okay. Don't stop doing that to go think you're going to make this $100,000 deal. Right. Because when and if that deal doesn't go through, and you stop doing your activities, then you're dead. So don't get caught up on a big deal, and make sure you focus. Right. That's one of some of my lessons, I would say.
Something you said is to focus in on the one thing. So I know you were on a call, one of the Sleepless Nights coaching calls that I was on, and you were saying the same thing. And so with that mindset of focusing in on one thing, I was able to actually make a move in my business that was really good, for January. So I was like, oh, this put me at half of my goal for the whole month, and I'm 3 days in. And so that one thing right there, what you said is focusing on the one thing is really, really important. And shout out to you for the coaching calls too in the morning. And so, Marquel, I know that you and I met when I did the virtual summit earlier in the year. Now, you were telling me about your entrepreneurial journey then. So what would you say is one of the lessons that you learned, like specifically that made you, that kind of just changed the way you thought about how you were doing business?
I would say the first one was that, and I got this from Jim Rohn. This is my virtual mentor I never actually met. But Jim said, you got to work harder on yourself than you do on your job or your business. So it's all about personal development. And one of my mentors, something that backed that up, he used to say, Marquel, if you had everything you wanted, he said, if you could have everything you wanted in life, using the way you currently think and the way you currently act, wouldn't you already have it already? And I was like, wow. So that really made me go all in on personal development. 'Cause I'm like, you're not where, right? It was cold, right? But it was like one of those things he told me 10 years ago, but it still stuck with me, and it totally makes sense because it's like everybody always thinks it's something external, the reason why you're not where you are, because we don't look within. Another one of my mentors is the last one where he says, if you're not willing to look within, you got to get used to going without.
Wow.
So it's all about the inner game stuff, and that's the biggest lesson for me. It's the inner game. It's not about the tactical, how to run an ad, what to say to people, how to sell. It's really the inner game stuff, and you get past that, like you're unstoppable at that point.
That is so true. That's something we were just talking about on the way here, is that when I shifted that focus to, building up myself inwardly, I knew that if I can build myself up inwardly, then I knew nothing externally could rock me. And so I took the time to get in alignment first. And there's the scripture that says, seek the kingdom. There's another scripture that says the kingdom is within you. When I put those two together, I was like, you know what? Let me dig deep within myself and get into alignment. And then it said all of these things will be added. And I feel like that's when I finally got the breakthrough, on the outside is when I got the one on the inside. So that was good. And so, David, what is something that kind of was like life-changing for you on this entrepreneurial journey that helped you like shift the way you were doing business and you saw like a real difference?
Well, right now, just one being a forever student. Anytime I get with Kenney, we say something about a funnel. I'm trying to learn like the funnel. It's a different way people are making money, right? So when I'm talking to Marquel, who's he just talking about? The funnel. I just a particular part I need to learn, but I did realize that there's a whole bunch of things that I need to learn how to do, right? So it's like we all have like a boat with like a bunch of holes in the boat, and I'm just patching one at a time. I can't fix them all. And then some people get so frustrated, like, oh guys, got all these holes in my boat. What am I gonna do? And they spend time complaining about all the holes in their boat, and then they end up drowning. I'm just focused on patching one at a time. So it wasn't like you said, it wasn't one big thing. It was like all these little bitty nuggets, right? Like one thing my mentor told me at a networking event, if you're wearing a white shirt, don't eat wings.
Right.
Like it's just too risky. Right. The sauce, it's just too risky. Right? Or my mom told me never to have an accent because on the phone you don't want people to know whether you're from the South, you're from the hood. Like just speak normal and don't let people identify you on the phone. That's a major lesson. I don't know how many deals I might have got based on my conversation on the phone and speaking clearly. So there's so many things that you learn along the way. And if we really think about it, like how many things that you learn that you just caught. You feel me? It wasn't from a seminar. Somebody said, hey, this is the 6 things you need to do. But one time with my manager, I had a problem with my manager, and I knew my manager didn't like me. And my manager knew I didn't like her too. But I realized she had the key to me getting all the good sections in the restaurant. And if you're in a good section, you can make more money. Right. So I realized, I need to put my feelings and pride to the side and say good morning to the woman. Right. And before I'm leaving, ask her if there's anything you need. Is my section cool? We good? Okay, anything else you need? Okay, cool, I can leave. Right. And then I started getting better sections. Mm-hmm. So in that situation, I learned I gotta like suppress my my pride and emotion sometimes to get the deal done. But there's so many things that I learned. Which lesson is the best? Like,
Yeah, that's good. And something that you said that stood out to me was what your mom told you about, not having an accent on the phone. That's something my mom told me too. When I grew up in California and I've been in Cleveland, and when I got to Cleveland, people were like, well, you talk white. And I was just like, no, because my mom, told me that it's not about talking white or black, it's about talking green.
Right.
If you can talk green,
right,
then you'll be
articulating
okay.
an idea. Can we do that?
Right.
Yeah.
So having that kind of upbringing or someone telling you, and helping you along that way is very important as well. And so the next thing I want to talk about which is the focus of this particular podcast episode, is building an audience. So I know that each of you guys have taken the time to build an audience that actually purchases from you over and over again. And so what do you think are the key things for people that may be listening or watching that are looking to build their audience? A lot of people, say, I want to build an audience, but I don't know where to start with building the audience.
No, it was what's the gentleman that hired Napoleon Hill, U.S. Steel? Yeah, Andrew Carnegie. Yeah. Okay. He said, pioneer and don't pay. Meaning, not saying it doesn't always pay, but if there's something that's already proven, then you want to kind of gravitate towards that, at least initially. Right. And what I call it is like a pain pill. So Mafia offer, pain pill. Mafia offer means, hey, look, we'll make you an offer you can't receive. Pain pill is, hey, look, I already know you're in pain, so I'm not going to try to sell you vitamins first. I'm going to sell you a pain because I know that pain is going to get resolved with my solution. Right. And then that is how at least how I have been able to build a lot of, customers in the market and all this stuff by not reinventing the wheel, just making sure that I serve my community, serve my customers. Hey, I got these pills, and then when I got you with the pills, hey, would you like some vitamins too? Would you like a subscription? And that's kind of that's what I do. Okay.
Yeah, that's something that I've heard over the last few weeks that really stuck with me. And it says, don't sell people vitamins, sell them pain pills. Right. They need something that is going to cure them from whatever it is that they're going through. They're not going to buy your vitamin, but they will buy your pain pill because it's going to help get them from where they are to, the relief that they need.
Exactly. So, now, you can sell vitamins to people who've already bought your pain pills. Mm-hmm. They'll buy them because they're like, man, yeah, thank you. Here's these vitamins. Right. You know what I mean? So still sell vitamins, but sell vitamins to customers. Because customers are 10 times more likely to buy versus somebody who doesn't have pain.
Mm-hmm. I would say your personal brand and credibility, always adding value to people. You know what I mean? Like consistently over a long period of time. Can people say something bad about you? And I have some friends that you talk to them in certain circles. They're like, oh, so and so got over a little bit. And, you know what I'm saying? I was actually I was in the school, and I had the kids. This morning, and I need y'all to come to read in high school with me. I'm there every Friday. But I said, I was going around the room sell me this marker. I'm trying to get them to think of a creative way to sell me a marker, the thin line. What is it? A straight line approach? Oh, yeah. So one kid said, yo, just tell them that the marker does more than it really does to get the money. That won't last long. You know what I mean? Really, genuinely adding value. So I got the podcast, and I've been able to get some phenomenal people on the podcast because I interview them, and I put the YouTube video. One thing, I ask questions, and I shut up and let them tell the story. You ever get interviewed by somebody, and the interviewer does they got to get their bars off. What are you doing? But two, I take clips of the videos of what the person said. I got a few clips of what Kenney said, and I posted on my page. Yeah, you got them all. They're right in your text. So everybody, I take the clips, and I highlight the person. It's not about me. So I'm trying to create a platform, and I'm starting to get a lot of people that are saying, yo, I want to be on, because it ain't about me. They know it's a platform for me to highlight them. Right. And if I can keep highlighting other people, if I need a favor, if I need some advice, Kenny's like, yo, I got you, no problem. So I would say, in terms of building an audience, being consistent with your brand. What do people consistently say about you?
Okay. Okay, so how am I doing? Am I?
You're doing phenomenal.
Okay.
Great job.
Okay, I want to make sure. Okay. And so what about for you, Marquel?
For me, I would say it's all about specializing, having a specialty. So it's why do people call you? So I talk to entrepreneurs all the time, and I always equate it to, you ever used to watch Martin? growing up, I still watch Martin. You remember Hustle Man?
Right.
And Hustle Man to come through and be like, hey, Martin, I got this, I got this, I got this. And he opened his other guy's jacket, I got this, I got. It's kind of like, if you go downtown Atlanta right now, you see the same exact thing. So it's like, most entrepreneurs are that. Most entrepreneurs they do everything. So now it's like, I don't know what to call you for. Right. So and I always use this example. So if you have a general physician, and then you have a brain surgeon.
Right.
A general physician makes about $150,000 a year, and he's there all day, going from patient to patient, there all day. You got a brain surgeon, make $500,000 a year, pulls up in the Ferrari after his nurses and everything that already did all the work. He pulls up, work an hour or so, smashes back off in the Ferrari, and just go chill. Why? What's the difference? It's a specialist.
Right.
Most entrepreneurs don't want to specialize because they're like, well, I'm gonna leave people out. Well, great marketing is supposed to leave people out. It's supposed to repel people and it's supposed to attract people. Right. But most people are terrified to specialize. But when you specialize, now you're like, okay, I want to do this, let me hit David up. I want to do my finance thing, let me hit Kenney. You're going to be top of mind. Only way you become top of mind is by specializing in something.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Also, man had the pigeons on a when he said it, I'm sorry, this ain't got to do with nothing, but that was crazy.
Yeah, that was.
Solid. And the product coming from Hustle Man, it's risky. Exactly. And that's his brand. So anytime you actually see Hustle Man coming, in your mind, oh, he about to try to sell us some weird stuff, right? But anytime I see Marquel or Kenney coming, it's like, oh, information. That's their brand, just consistent. Right. That's a real good example. My man had the pigeons.
Yeah, that is a great example. Yeah, it just reminded me of being outside in the summer in Cleveland and someone trying to sell me some crab legs outside the store. No, I'm just like, when people are hustling things, then like you said, something could be questionable, and they're hustling a whole lot of things. Like you said, it makes them more questionable, but when they specialize, then you're able to trust what they're doing because they put in consistent quality.
Or if they're selling something different every few months, you don't really want to buy it because you don't know if the person going to be able to service that product 5 months from now. Right. If I have an issue with what I just bought from you, are you still going to be doing that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You see it on social media all the time. This week, this brother do real estate. Next week, this brother do network marketing. Next week, this dude doing Bitcoin. This week, we like, dude, what do you do?
Right.
You're just trying to get a bag.
Right.
Exactly. I was exactly about to say that. Most people, because they get it mixed up. Jim Rohn says this all the time. You don't get paid for time, you get paid for value. That's how we get paid. Because if you got paid for time, you can just sit at home and have the money coming in. So because that's the case, most people don't. They're trying to get the money. They're trying to get the money, but they don't have the value. Right. And then they don't realize that at least on this planet, you got to sow a seed, you got to water that seed, and you got to let the stuff go through the process. You can't just sow the seed and expect it to come out, overnight. And that's what you focus on expands. So you got multiple things going on. You got multiple things you're trying to expand, and you have limited resources. You're not going to get any results. You know what I mean? You're just going to have a whole bunch of weeds coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's very true. And so that's the one thing that I think I've learned the biggest lesson in is to be able to serve people. You're not selling them on anything. You're actually serving them, with your skill set. And so when it comes to building your audience and building relationships with them, as your audience expands and grows, then how do you keep the connection with your audience as it's growing?
I think I know none of Shands is really good. We both are. I think what I just started doing is becoming evangelical about my cause. I believe I have the solution to all your problems. Because finances is a huge thing, which affects so many areas.
Right.
So because of that, because I'm so passionate, I let that passion come through and then allow systems and staff to serve my community at scale while I'm still communicating the purpose. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm just evangelical. I really believe if, you fix your finances, that's going to be the cure to your cancer, the whole time. Yeah. You fix your finances, somehow we're going to get your leg unbroke. Whatever it is, you fix your finances, it's the solution, right? That's just how I feel about it,
Okay. And so how does that, I know that speaks to the problem that the audience has, but how does that keep a connection with them? So
I think for me, when I'm keeping the connection, it's communicating the message, the greater good, but also still having systems in place on the back end that help me follow up with my customers. Right. Like my CRM, my staff, text messages, phone calls, ads. So different things that helps me say, hey, look, we have a training on this day. Make sure you register. And then they come and they register. The Facebook community. Join our Facebook group. Ask your questions there. Right. Just don't get your questions answered by me. Get it from other people in the group, other staff members. So I think the first thing is getting them in, but then once you've gotten them in, keeping it sticky with all the retention on the back end. So I don't know if that answers your question.
That actually did. So yeah, that was good. That was good. I love that, and I found that to be effective as well. Like building, either automating or delegating, to be able to keep things flowing, and then it frees up my time to be able to answer people back on social media or be able to answer people back personally, and then having like the machine running in the background. So I love that answer. What about you, Marquel?
So for me, it really so I call it the 3 C's. So it's basically content. So whether that's Instagram content, whether that's the podcast, whether that's Facebook, blog posts, or whatever, or even an event or whatever. So that's some content. You give them some content, you give them some value. So that's the first step. So that's not somebody come, because in a funnel process, people talk about the funnel, right? So with a funnel, it's 4 layers of it. So it's supposed to be at the top is they become aware of you for the very first time. Then they become interested. They hear what you say and they're like, oh, that's Terdon DeBoe? Okay. I'm interested. She's talking good. So then they engage with you. So now you're like, hey, thank you for checking out the show. Go grab XYZ for free while I go deeper into how to launch a personal brand. So now they engage. So they give you their email address. And then you convert them at the bottom, right? So they're aware. Some people are going to become aware of you and they're not really interested. They're like, I don't really resonate. And that's cool, right? Because some people are going to be interested and they're going to engage and they're going to convert. So with the 3 C's, it's like content, then communicate through email, through text, through messenger bots, all the different channels you have with your content. So you communicate it and then you convert. Because you continue to put value, like, hey, if you like this, you're going to love this. You're going to love the training we're doing this week. So you just do that consistently via email, messenger bots, retargeting, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I love that.
I guess I'll come from a perspective of, because your question was about like managing the growth of.
Right, with the connection.
Right. I guess coming from a different perspective of the people around you, like really taking care of people. You know what I mean? Not just selling them a product. Right. Like for instance, so I met Brandon. He came to my kiosk like, yo, I love your videos. And I shoot video, so, if you need a videographer, let me know. I'm like, all right, bet. So my partner, Janae, she was like, yo, I love what you're doing with the kids. I just want to help. I'm real good with administrative stuff or, with numbers. She's a CPA, high ranking in her company. But she was like helping. So when we started my coaching program, it was all of us together. And now we're all equal partners. I make just as much as Brandon and Janae. And then we rolled it into this. And I'm like trying to take care of the people that's around me. Even in the coaching program, my friend Life, he started out in the program, but now we pay him to run a class every week. Jovan started out in the coaching program, and now he manages this venue and makes a percentage of everything that moves here. So if you don't have a track record of people around you that can point to you to say, yo, he really, like, I can elevate with him, like, just stand by him, something's going to happen. You're really building your house on sand. So you really got to take care of people. And even if it's not people around you, at least take care of your customers. Yeah. Like make sure you're giving them what they need. Sometimes you got to not sell them a product that they don't need. They're willing to buy it, but you can tell, okay, look, keep that 500. You could just do this. You don't really need this particular. And it takes a real big person to really take care of people, like, and think business minded first. But you got to take care of the goose that lays the golden egg, right? You know what I'm saying? Take care of the people that's building it.
That's so true. I love what you said with that because, just being able to, like you said, take care of the people around you. And I feel like because when you do that, like, and you build that connection with people, I find that people just come up to me, like, at the grocery store, like, hey, and I love what you did with this, and how's your daughter doing? Like, oh, I'm fine. Everything's good.
And you attract other people. Today at the school, we had 3 videographers.
Okay.
I ain't had to pay a dime.
Yeah.
But they see like, yo, Brandon, stay close. Right. We grew. I just need you to stay. People are dying to find a videographer out here.
Right.
Yo, can never find a consistent videographer. And we got 3 to come to a school for free.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But in the culture of what we do, we take care of people.
Right.
These guys won't have any problem finding people to help out. You know what I mean? Because you take care of people. You got examples of people you took care of.
Right.
Yeah, it's funny that you said that, like that you broke that down, what you're doing. And if I look at anybody who works with me or for me, I don't like to say people work for me, they work with me, but they all have come from people who I've known for a while. Either they were clients, customers, friends, just people I know and trust, and they saw me start from bad credit, negative bank account, you know what I mean, to where I am now. And then I've never wanted it to be about me. I'll always use words me and us, because I realize it's bigger than just me. Okay, I might be on the front side of certain things. I wouldn't be able to do all this stuff at the scale I want to if it was all about me. Right. And making sure I take care of my people, making sure we break bread, make sure we pay, give percent, whatever it is, take care of your people, man. Because, I mean, you're not going to miss the money. You know what I mean? You're not going to miss the money.
That's very true. Very, very true. So I know we're about to wrap up now, but my last question for you guys, because I believe personally about creativity, because we're at the leading edge of thought and we're the furthest that humanity has ever gone, is the people that are able to find solutions as the world evolves that keep the world moving forward. So what is it that each of you do to stay creative or find solutions? Because some people think creativity is artistic, but it's really just simply finding solutions as the world evolves.
I just got a short one. You try to find the solution. Like, you sit down with a sheet of paper and try to figure this out. Like, a lot of people try to handle it in their head. Like, I'm dealing with this, what am I gonna do? And then the phone rings. And then they're like, okay, they get off that phone call, okay, what am I gonna do? I don't know. Then their show is about to come on, so they gotta watch that.
Right.
But very, very few people will block out an hour, 2 hours just trying to solve this problem. Very few people.
That's good.
Will sit in front of a sheet of paper
Like,
and
just
try
sit
to
with
solve
it.
the problem.
Yeah, just sit with it.
I gave the kids a problem, and
that
you could
comes like
see.
with trusting yourself too.
Yeah. Some of the kids, you could see. I got a question. They're trying to figure it out for a minute. Then you can see they check out. It's over. No more thinking. It's a wrap. But some of them are still like, okay, how do I? Right? It's like being able to stay in that place of trying to figure out the problem. And we got Google, fam.
Right.
We got Google, right? Like, yeah.
So for me, I got a philosophy is, if you want to multiply, you got to simplify. So the way I look at creativity is like, okay, how do I simplify this? So that's how I innovate. Like, okay, I look at this particular thing. So I look at, okay, for entrepreneurs, like, okay, they want to go from here to take strangers to becoming clients. So how do we take the simplicity from that? So I look at the internet marketing niche, like internet marketing gurus, they make this stuff so complicated. So I'm like, this stuff is way too complicated. When it's really like, okay, instead of building this whole complicated thing, how do we simplify that and turn it into like 4 pages or 3 pages and to still build $1 million or multiple 7-figure business instead of having all these moving parts? So really simplifying, like, okay, how can I simplify this? And then we do it. Like we were just talking about before we started. Okay, we simplify this thing, and now you got more profit, more freedom.
Right.
So that's how I look at it.
Right.
I have to concur with what they say. Yeah, just, keep it simple. One thing to, on a higher level is like I block out time on a daily basis to do what I call a jam session. And I don't consistently do them like 7 days a week, but like my 3 or 4 days, like I just focus on one thing for an hour. And typically it's a problem, typically it's a project, and I just give it my all. And then generally speaking, I'm in a shower, I'm driving my car, I'm watching something, and then the solution pops up. It's like, it's interesting. Like what I've noticed is, it's like you give the subconscious mind the problem, you try to solve it with the conscious mind, and then you're going to be going about your life, and then the subconscious is going to pop up with the answer. And that's happened to me multiple times. And then the other thing, to kind of give you what I do too, is not every day, but sometimes I'll sit and I'll just meditate and just be quiet. Try to tell my mind to shut up, which is a very, very difficult task to do if you haven't tried to do it. And then, but in that quietness, you can kind of like really start to think through and hear and see different thoughts, and then solutions come about that. you know. But it's the slowing down and just being in the moment, and then just letting go of all the other outside distractions. And then normally, you know, solutions and creativity come for me from doing that as well. So even like when I was looking at my name, My Money EDU, you know, I was looking at different names that I wanted to call my brand, and I was talking with a good friend of mine's, G, and he said the same thing you said, you know, keep it simple. So I literally said, I'm gonna stop trying to put stuff on paper, right? I did all the stuff on paper. I said, you know what, subconscious mind, I command you to give me a name. And the next morning, I woke up, literally, My Money EDU popped up. I went to GoDaddy, typed in the GoDaddy thing, it was available. I said, that's it. You know, so that's just how some, you know, creativity comes from.
I like that. I'm about to get up every morning like my subconscious mind. I command you to give me the answers that I need today. Yeah, I love that. That's really good. Thank you so much again for coming and being a part of this podcast episode. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for the warm welcome to Atlanta. This is my first time here, and I'm loving it so far. And so, can you tell
get out in these streets? Huh? You want to get out in these ATL streets? There's a lot of streets to get into.
I'll be back in April, though. I'll be back in April.
You're right. So you're right.
So tell everybody where they can find you online, or where they can find you.
All right, you guys can connect with me on Instagram. It's Kenney Conwell, but let me spell it for you. It's Kenney, and then Conwell. All my information is there. Feel free to connect with me. I'm happy to serve you.
Yeah, so I'm Marquel Russell everywhere: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. MarquelRussell.com. Yeah, MarquelRussell.com. So I got a lot of free training, podcasts, the whole nine. Instagram, Marquel Russell. YouTube, Marquel Russell. Facebook, whatever platform you're on.
Cool. And I'm David Shands. You can find me on Instagram at sleepisforsuckers with the number 4. And Real Social Proof. Gotta plug it. Just give me a second. Real Social Proof Conference, 1,000 entrepreneurs. Hopefully by the time you're seeing this, maybe 3 years from now, we'll have venues of 5,000, 10,000. But this very first one, entrepreneurs, these gentlemen will be there. We got over 25 high-level experts teaching entrepreneurship over 2 days. We're having a comedy show that Thursday night. So Real Social Proof Conference. If you give me a promo code, I'll give them a promo code, whatever you want the promo code to be. Just click the button below or whatever you're going to pop up.
Promo code will be World Changer.
World Changer. Okay, World Changer. We'll get 15% off whatever ticket level you get. So be in Atlanta, April 4th and 5th, Real Social Proof.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this was an amazing podcast episode. I'm so happy. My heart is full. And I hope that you guys got the value out of it, that I got out of it. And go ahead and make sure that you go to www.creativeentrepreneuracademy.com to see all other podcast episodes. I'm Turdon DeBow, and it's a wrap.